Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament, and I'm just reading through the Revelation of John and up to chapter 21. Kai edon uranon kainon kaigen kainen, hogaprotos uranos kai heprotege, apelthen kai hethalassa ukestieti. And I saw, again from Horao, a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth, apelthan, notice we've got a weak aorist ending here on a strong verb, but we get that quite commonly. They departed, and the sea, uk estineti, well, is no longer. So it does no longer exist. So the sea is no longer. So I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The first heaven and the first earth departed. Some translate passed away, but departed is the verb. It's from aperkamai. And the sea is no longer. Kai ten polin ten hagian Hierusalem kainen edon katabainu san ektu uranu apotu theou he toimas mene hos numphen kekos me menein to andriautes. And I saw the holy city Jerusalem, a new one. So I saw a new holy city. Perhaps this is genitive, a new city consisting of Jerusalem, or just naming it. So I saw a new holy city, Jerusalem, katabainusan, feminine present participle from katabaino, descending from the heaven and from God. Hetoimazmenein is a perfect passive participle from hetoimazdo, to prepare. So having been prepared, hos, like a numphe is a bride, kekos menein, again a perfect passive participle from cosmio, prepared, arranged. We get it's cognate with our word cosmetic, of course. So it simply means arranged or prepared for her husband, literally for her man, but andros can often be used in the sense of husband. So a bride having been prepared for her husband, kai ekus sophones megales ektu thronu leguses, idou heskene tu theou metaton anthropon, kai skernose metaton, kai autoi laoi tu esontai, kai autos or theos metauton estai, and then in brackets auton theos. I'll just pause it there before we go to the next page. And I heard from a kuo, simple aorist there, a great voice from the throne, legusas participle agreeing with phones, saying, Idu, behold. Now the skene is originally a tent, and it comes to mean the tabernacle, the dwelling place. So behold, the dwelling place of God, understand, is with men. Kai, this is from skeinoo, it's a verb formed from skene. So this is a future here, you get a lengthening of the omicron, it's an omicron contract verb, and then the sigma denoting the future, and he will have his dwelling metauton with them. Kai autoi, and they, esontai, future from Amy, they will be his people, and God himself, estai, another future from Amy, will be with them, and then in brackets we get auton theos, so something like as their God. Kai ex alepse pan dakruon ekton, and now we get, so just to do that bit here, so it's every tear will be wiped away. This is from ex alepho, Aleipho has that sense of to wipe, and so to wipe away. So every tear will be wiped away, ek tone, ophthalmon auton. Kai hothanatos uk estai, eti uti penthos uti krauge uti ponos uk estai, eti hoti ta prota ap elthan. So every tear will be wiped away from their eyes, and there will not be any longer thanatos, death, nor penthos, nor grief, uti krauge, nor crying out, uti ponos. Well, ponos can mean labour. There will be no labour, there will be no distress, perhaps almost, any longer. Hoti, because the first things, now we've got neuter plural and plural verb, and it's a weak aorist in place of a strong aorist. So because the first things, apael, then have departed, literally have passed away, sometimes translated, just simply means to depart. Kai epen hoc kathaminos epito throno, idu kaina poio panta kai lege grapson hoti hutoi hoi logoi pistoi kai alethinoi asin. And the one sitting upon the throne said, Idu, behold, poio, I am making, from poio, I am making all things kaina new. Kai lege, and he said, says, it's historic present and there's a variant reading, grapson, write, imperative, we've seen this one before from Grapho, write that these words are pistoi, faithful, kai alethinoi, and are true. Kai apen moi gegonan. Now this is a gegonan for gegonasi, for the perfect third person plural, but you do get this form in the perfect in New Testament Greek occasionally. So he said to me, well, it's these things, neuter plural again. Well, yeah, it's probably, it's not clear what the subject of this is, but it's something like they have happened. So all the things above have happened. These things understood have taken place. Ego eimi to alpha kai to omega, he arche kai to telos. I am the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. Interestingly, he writes alpha out in longhand, but just puts omega, doesn't write omega, just O. Ego to dipsonti doso ectes pages tu hudatos test so as dorian. I, doso, future from didomi, I will give. Now, to dipsonti, this is from dipsao is the verb, it's an alpha contract verb. Dipsao means I am thirsty. We get the word dipsomaniac from this, of course. So this is a dative, present dative participle from dipsao. So I will give to the one being thirsty. I will give, understand, to drink. It's not there in the Greek, but we have to understand something like to drink. From the page, from the stream, or spring would be better, from the spring of the water of life. Dorian is an adverb, meaning freely, freely given, given as a dora, as a gift. So Dorian here is an adverb, fairly common. So I will give to the one who is thirsty, I will allow them understand to drink from the page, from the stream of the water. Some translate this as well, possibly as also. So from the stream, or possibly the well of the water of life, Dorian, freely, as a free gift. Hot Nikon kleronomese tau takai esomai auto theos kai autos estai moi huios. The one conquering, kleronomese is from kleronomeo, it's an epsilon contract verb, and this is the future here. it's to receive as a lot, so it's an inheritor. So the verb is to inherit, kleronomio. So the one conquering will inherit tauta these things, kai esamai, and I will be to him, theos, a god, and he will be to me, huios, a son. So we get these futures, esamai, the first person singular from the future from Amy, and then we get the estai as the third person. So I will be to him as a god, and he will be to me as a son. Tois de delois kai apistois kai ebdulogmenois kai phonusin kai pornois kai pharmakoukos kai edololatrais kai pasin tois pseudesin tomeros auton ente limne te kai omene puri kai theo ho estin ho thanatos ho deuteros. But to the delois, well, this is a funny word, something like to the wretched ones, to the well, perhaps badly behaved, to the wretched ones, and to the disbelieving ones, and to the ones who commit abominable things. From the verb is bedelusso. It's formed from, you get the noun bedelugma, so it goes back to classical times. Some commentators have suggested this may refer to performing pagan rites. The word simply means performing abominable things. We're not told exactly what the abominable things are. And to the ones murdering, these are all dative plural. This is dative plural participles, these two. Phonusin from phonuo. To those who are murdering, to those who are engaging in prostitution, and pharmakois, this is performing, well, perhaps magical acts, engaging in acts of magic, perhaps, and to the idolaters, and to all the liars, this is from pseudes, to all the liars, the portion of them, so their portion, understand, is in the limne, in the lake, the one burning with fire, kai theo, and with sulphur, which is the second death. Now continues on to the next section, where he says, kai eothen, haste, ektone hepta angelone tone ekon tone tas hepta fialas tone gemontone tone hepta plegone tone escartone kai elale senmet emu legone dura dexosoi ten numfen ten gunaika tu anu. And one from among the 7 angels, those having the 7 vials, the 7 bowls, so one of them came, one of the 7 bowls, and then, yes, of those being filled. So it's perhaps a partitive genitive here. This is from gemo, to fill. It's a genitive plural participle. So it must be referring back to the bowls, but he's put it into the genitive. So it's one of the those having the 7 bowls. Those bowls understood which were full of the 7 plagues of the last things. So one of them came. So we might just put it round the other way in English. So there came one of the 7 angels, those having the 7 bowls, the bowls which were full of the 7 plagues, the 7 final plagues, kai elale sen metemoi legon, and he spoke with me, legon, saying, Juro, come. Dakso, future from Dake Numi, I will show soy to you, te numphen te gunaika, the woman who is the bride to Aniu of the Lamb. Kai apenenken me en pneumati epi oros mega kai hupselon. And now this apenenken, this is from Apple and Pharaoh. So from Apple Pharaoh, to carry off. So this is an aorist here. Aorist to Pharaoh is Anenkon. So he carried me off en pneumati in the spirit, epi in the direction of a great and high mountain, mega kai hupselon, to a great and high mountain. Kai, go back to here again. Edek sen moi ten polin ten hagian katabai nusan ek tu uranu apotu thiu ekusan ten doxan tu thiu hofoster autes homoios litho timi otato hos litho iaspidi crustalisdonti. And he showed, this is the aorist from Dake Numi, he showed to me the holy city, ten polin ten hagian, Jerusalem, katabai nusan, again feminine participle, present, so descending from the heaven, apotiu to theou, from God. So having, and this is in agreement with Polin, accusative, having the glory of God, and the phoster, it's the light of it. So phoster connected with phos, probably a bit stronger, perhaps brilliance might be the better translation here. So its brilliance, connected with phos, meaning light, its brilliance was like to the most precious, this is superlative from timios. Just a minor point of grammar here. If the preceding vowel, so it's the ending is otatos, but if the preceding vowel is short, as the timios is, then you get omega here. If the preceding vowel is long, it's a short o here. Just a minor point of grammar. So hence the otatos becomes otatos because the iota is short. So like to a most precious stone, and as though it were the stone jasper, this is a precious stone, crustalizonti, funny word here, it means something like shining like a crystal. So it's like to the crystalline stone jasper, something like that there. Ekus atekos mega kai hupselon, ekus pulanos dodeca kai entois pulosin angelois dodeca kai onomata, epigegramena ha estita onomata tone dodeca fulon huion Israel. Now we have a grammatical infelicity here in that this is referring back again to Polin. So grammatically this should be ekusan, accusative, but the authors simply lost track of the fact that the antecedent of it was, the participle was in the accusative and has gone back to nominative again. So the city having tekos mega, a great and high wall, and same thing again here, and having 12 pulonas, this is from pulon, third declension noun. You get pulei as a gate in classical Greek and in later Greek as well, and pulon is just another word meaning gate, probably a larger gate. So having 12 gates and understand having 12 angels epitois pulosin. This is the dative plural of the pulone of the. So having 12 angels at the gates, and names epigrammena, perfect passive participle from epigrapho. We get our word epigram from this, of course. And names inscribed, so we'd say the names inscribed, ha estin, which are, in brackets, the names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel. Of course, there's debate amongst modern scholars as to whether such 12 tribes ever existed at all, or whether they're just part of the folklore. There certainly were not 12 tribes at the time of writing of this. Kai apo anatales, pulones tres kai apo bora, pulones tres kai apo notu, pulones tres kai apo dusmon, pulones tres. Now, Anatoles means the rising, and hence that's the rising of the sun, and that means the east. So there were 3 gates, we might say, on the eastern side. Kai Apobora, and there were 3 gates. Now the Bora is like Boreas is the north wind, and so Apobora, this will be a genitive here, the Doric genitive. So we would say from the north side there were 3 gates, and 3 gates aponotu. Notos is the south wind, and so this will be so from the south there were 3 gates, and there were 3 gates apodusmon. This is from the settings. This, again, the settings you've got to understand of the sun. So they're describing here the different winds and then the rising and setting of the sun. So from the rising of the sun, that's from the east, there are 3 gates. From the north wind, so from the north there are 3 gates. From the south wind, from the south there are 3 gates. And from the west, that is where the sun sets, there are 3 gates. Kaitotekos tes polios ekon themelius dodeca kai epiauton dodeca onoma titon dodeca apostolon to arniu. And the wall of the city. Now, again, the grammar's not quite right here. It's ekon is masculine. It should really be ekon, agreeing a neuter participle, agreeing with tekos. It could possibly be that it referring back to Jerusalem, had the wall of its city, or perhaps on the wall of its city, but it doesn't really make sense. I think it's just, again, a grammatical infelicity here. It should be ekon. So the wall of the city having themelius dodeca. Now, you've got to supply something like stones here, I think. Themelios is a foundation, or perhaps foundation stones. It is connected with tithemi, to when you start to build something, you've got to place down the foundation stones, and this word is connected with tithemi, but it simply means foundation stones, the stones at the base. So having 12 foundation stones, and ep-auton, and upon them 12 names of the 12 apostles to Arniu of the Lamb. So just to do that bit again. So the wall of the city, understand, was having, or had, 12 foundation stones, and upon them the 12 names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And that's the first part of chapter 21.